What actor should play DC's most iconic villains? This week, the internet lost its mind when Ben Affleck posted what appears to be test footage of Deathstroke. Is Deathstroke going to be the villain of the next Batman movie? Is he going to be in the Justice League movie that's filming right now? Who knows? Nobody, but everybody has theories and everybody's speculating. And of course, just a week back, rumors surfaced that the Rogues would be the official villains of the Flash movie. And even before that, word on the street said Black Manta would be Aquaman's main villain in his movie. But who should play these iconic villains? So I thought, why not lump it all together and give you my thoughts on who WB should get to fill these roles. I want to start with the Rogues, and no, I'm not going to cast all the Rogues. I'm not IMDb. But there is one specific Rogue who's worth discussing. And that's, of course, Captain Cold. Now, if you watch the beloved CW Flash series, you know that Wentworth Miller has turned in an iconic version of the character, but who should play him in the movie? For those not to know, Captain Cold is actually one of Flash's most iconic villains, who's a super thief that uses a cold gun to commit his crimes and also trip up the Flash whenever he tries to interfere. Now, for me, reading stories with Captain Cold, the part that always stood out is that he's someone that everybody underestimates who you absolutely shouldn't underestimate. And so I was trying to think of an actor that really filled that role for me. And the name that came to the forefront is actually Bolton Goggins, who you might know from Justified, The Shield, Django Unchained, and The Hateful Eight, and hell, even Vice Principals on HBO right now. If you've seen any of that, you know Bolton Goggins is perfect at threading that needle of being incredibly despicable and kind of lovable at the same time. For my money, that's Captain Cold. In these roles, he never really presents himself as a major threat, but he's always somebody you should take seriously, especially in Justified, where he brilliantly played a thieving criminal mastermind like Captain Cold. Now, if you want somebody a little cooler, a little sleeker, I actually think Cillian Murphy would kill it. Now, you may remember him as Scarecrow in Batman Begins, but don't let his twitchy take on that character make you think he doesn't fit Cold. If you've seen Peaky Blinders, you know he kills it at being tough, cold, and calculating. Now, with a lot of DC's movies, they didn't get megastars to play their main characters, and so it might benefit these movies and get butts in the seats if they were able to cast them in another role, like the villain. So if DC really wanted to go big and break the bank with Captain Cold, maybe cast George Clooney. I know you're probably like, no, that can't be right, but think about it. Danny Ocean could make a really cool Captain Cold. And also, it's George Clooney. I'd see that. All right, now let's move on to Black Manta. I think it'd be great for that movie to choose Black Manta because I think that really makes a good pitch of a movie. It's basically Aragorn versus Darth Vader underwater. In most incarnations, Black Manta's a high-tech underwater assassin with a grudge against the heir to Atlantis. Now, fans immediately started to put Michael Kenneth Williams' name in the hat, and personally, I can't think of somebody better to be Black Manta. You tell me I could see Omar from The Wire throw down with Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones? Yes, please, sign me up. And also, Michael K. Williams is great in every project I've seen him in. Most recently, The Night Of, which just wrapped up on HBO. However, if DC wanted to do what I was talking about with Captain Cold and get a megastar, somebody I thought of was Jamie Foxx. However, I'd rather see Jamie Foxx as the Green Lantern John Stewart, so let's put him off the table, huh? All right, let's think even bigger then. Denzel Washington. Now, Denzel Washington has shown that he's willing to do some tentpole action movies in the past with The Equalizer and the upcoming Magnificent Seven, so it seems like he'd be very amenable to a big superhero project, so it's just a matter of when and how he snapped up. If you cast Denzel in the role of Black Manta, any lingering jokes around Aquaman and his mythos would vanish. There's no way you couldn't take Black Manta seriously. However, I don't think Black Manta is actually the best role for Denzel, and that leads us to what brought us to this topic in the first place. Deathstroke. That's right, I think Denzel Washington would be great as Deathstroke. Deathstroke is DC's premier assassin. Sorry, Deadshot, is not only thrown down with Batman, but the Teen Titans and Green Arrow is one of the few characters that can go toe-to-toe with the Justice League on his own. So you need somebody with presence, and somebody that can pull off the physicality of the role. I have a hard time thinking of somebody better than Denzel. However, another megastar you could put in this conversation is Brad Pitt. Also, if you want an older Green Arrow in this universe, he'd do a pretty good job with that as well. Another good fit might be our most recent James Bond, Daniel Craig. He can obviously do the suave, but has a rugged physicality that fits this role. His version of James Bond was basically a glorified hitman anyway, so it kind of fits. Now, a personal favorite of mine would be if they cast Ron Perlman. Even though he's getting a little older, he's still got an intimidating physicality, and it helps that he voiced the character in the beloved Teen Titans cartoon. Perhaps my favorite on-screen incarnation of that character. But if you want to go younger, what about Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, who plays Jaime from Game of Thrones? Obviously, he's proven he's good with a sword on that show. He can even provide a suave James Bondy element, even more than Daniel Craig. All right, so those are my thoughts on who could fill these iconic DC villain roles. Let me know in the comments down below who you think should play these characters, or other DC villains you'd like to see on the big screen. Don't forget to comment or tweet me topics you'd like me to cover in the future, and check out my podcast with Sam Basher, Only Stupid Answers, which goes live every Monday on iTunes and SoundCloud. We've got a ton of exciting things coming down the pipe for that podcast, and we're excited to share them with you. That's it for me. Have a great weekend and enjoy your Labor Day.